Hello, 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 everyone, and welcome to Relationship Rhetoric. I'm your host, unapologetically Angela, and welcome to June. Things are warming up, the world is opening up a little more, and so I decided that I would try to warm up with June. So, a lot of you know the events that I have here in the city, but it's rare that I've actually had, people on the show who really live that lifestyle. And so, the month of June, I will be bringing, in my opinion, the sexiest Instagram influencers, people that I follow that catch me off guard, have me rolling, but I'm also like all into it, eyes, toes, fingers, and everything. So I'm really, really excited. I'm really excited about the first person who's going to be on the show because as I was telling her, she starts my morning, and the friends that I've talked to about follow this woman because of the things that she posts, and they are so in tune with where my mind is, so it gets my day going. So I'm really excited. This is my first time meeting her, so I'm really excited to hear her story, see how she got here, and hopefully she will shed some light on some of my audience who are still living inside the box. And she put it perfectly, living inside of your truth, whatever that may be. So I'm really excited to present to you guys Ivana Spanks a lot. Hi, hi, hi.
Thanks for having me.
No, thank you. I was so excited when you agreed. We were supposed to do this a while back, but things happened. But I was determined to have you on the show. So thank you.
No problem. I'll do this anytime because I appreciate that support.
Yeah. So we talked earlier. Kind of give us a snapshot about, honestly, I really want to know, how would you describe your personality before this moment? Do you feel like you're in full bloom?
Am I now? Absolutely, because I've owned it. I don't care about who it offends because what I've learned in life is if it offends you, there's something you have to face in it, and that's your problem, not mine. And I'm here for that time when you are open to it to love you because it's all with pure intention. But my family's pretty insane, so the humor has been very out there from the start. We're very open. Our dinner table conversations inappropriate, and I mean it's gotten to the point it always is ever evolving where now there's times even I have to tap out because it just my mom's a nurse, so she can take it beyond, sexy time stuff is cool, beating the crap out of somebody, get a good reaction out of it, but when we start talking about, wiping behinds, no, we're eating like this world, it's not. So that allowed me, and even with their open minds, they actually did try to tell me what I could look like, what to wear.
Oh, that's never happened before.
Yep, here we go. So both my parents were military, and
Oh,
that
wow.
kind of developed me. And they're both Geminis. Throw that out
Oh,
there.
wow.
They developed me, right? But part of why I think I'm here was to help them open their minds because they really had a journey that took them a little bit longer. So I'm definitely about peace and light, but I'm about it in a different way. So my favorite saying is I'm a good influence in a bad way.
Yes. I love that. I love that. So, was there ever a point in your life where you were mm, shy or what is the word? Prudish?
No,
Oh,
as
wow.
a little girl, so my family figure skating on skates, not ice. That was my thing. So when I was born into performing, and that just my natural charisma shined in skating. And then, once you get older, I will say I'm an introvert at times, but it's select. Like I need to go home and recharge so I can come shine bright
Mhm.
here. I need to go and put myself back in, just to be able to do that. So I'm a good balance of extrovert, introvert, and I wouldn't say shy, but there's definitely times where you're just gonna see me. What I say is hiding under my rock, and that's just for me to go back, get my peace, be centered, so then I and you can't fill somebody's cup if you're empty. So it's
Oh my
really
God.
important to me, and I'm big yoga and meditation. They are.
She's in Florida, guys, so our signal is different. I got you.
We're good.
Yes, 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 yes. So at what age do you think you were just like, I'm ready. Let's do this. I don't care what anybody thinks.
I would say 24, 25, and that was really when I moved to Florida, because there is just such a liberating community here where I did think I thought I would see more thongs at the beach, but now you do, because now they're trendy. And it took me a long time to even have confidence to bare my assets. Literally, I knew what I had, but you being comfortable in your own skin and being out there in the world, it just, because people are going to stare, especially with my derriere. It's ridiculous. So once I learned that community, and like they not only accept it, they encourage it. And then we also, when I say Disney has gay days, we have hairdresser conventions. You just have so many open-minded people here. You can't, like, there's no other way to be other than inspired to be, in your truth, because everybody else is, and you're like, man, I want some of that. And
Right.
trial and error sometimes. And, I like to say exposure therapy, because sometimes you don't think you like it, and then you find out you do, and vice versa. So you never know until you try.
Wow. So where did you move from?
So I'm actually from up north. I'm a mixture of Rhode Island and Pennsylvania. So I'm a military brat, so I really was everywhere. But the South is what I love, because the soul, the culture, like it just, because Rhode Island, there's not much there. I mean, there's culture in its own way, but I needed to get out of there, and I've never looked back. And it just, it gets my heart going. I love it, and I wouldn't leave it. I love living here. It's beautiful. And then, like I said, when you learn the nudist colonies, which I haven't even made my way there yet, they are following me. But my understanding is you have to get invited into that. So I believe I did get my invite, but you got to have the right people around, and everyone with their schedules, it gets a little difficult at times.
Okay. So that was my next question. So for people that are listening that are interested in that community, what are the steps that you take to get people to notice you?
Oh, I don't know if I can pinpoint that, because my page is private. And part of why I did that was because I try to use mystery to draw you in. That is a trait of Scorpio. But Instagram, when I actually have my page not private, either one, I find they flag stuff. And I'll be floored with what they flag. Sometimes I get it, and then other times I'm like, you left worse things up there. And I also got that off of somebody else's page. So it's on Instagram, so it's just a very contradicting platform. So it just, throughout the years, they naturally accumulate. And then when I do events now, I will promote my other page, because that's where they'll get to see me if I'm not actually there in person, and they get to interact with me there too, because then that leads over to OnlyFans. So I have levels of what side of me you want to see, but I do have one page feeding off into the other. And Ivana Spanks-Lot is actually my main page. That is my humor. That's my alter ego. So if I'm making friends when I'm out, because when I drink, I'm happy, and I'm friends with everybody, and then I'm a lover of all. It's ridiculous. So then too, I will just promote myself in person, because I feel, and others will agree, like you get my energy and you get my real presence meeting me in person, not necessarily through my page.
Very, very good. So tell me about your events. What type of events do you have?
So they're all different types of events, but my most recent ones, I was actually doing a little bit of, we can say, go-go dancing at weed pop-up shops. So they're kind of like prohibition time. They're speakeasy, but I was hired by a specific brand to get attention for the table, because that's my thing to do. So I picked out some fun outfits, and I had a great time doing that. I got a lot of followers from that, because I even had it on my shirt. And like I said, when you meet me in person, I'm hard. It's hard not to love me, and I mean I love me, so that's how I can say that. But I find that I actually get better response just by meeting people in person. So those are my most recent events. But like I said, anything where I'm able to go dress up, put a corset on, pull my crop out, have a whip in my hand, and have people willingly bend over in front of me because they want me to beat them, I'm there. So it's been a while, you know, because COVID and all of the events, because the fetish event happens every single year and it shuts down a whole hotel. Like, it's so amazing. And you're going to see all walks of life, all shapes and sizes. And I really, being a hairdresser in the daytime, a big part of that is me helping people feel better about themselves and building self-esteem and trying to help them discover their light. And if I forgot where I was going with that because I get really passionate, but that is that's where I was going. So if you go to these events, right, and we all have our insecurities, you're going to go there in your outfit and kind of feel inside. When it's all said and done and you leave, you are going to be holding your chest up because there's people with worse scenarios than you, missing limbs, in there smiling, having a good time. And, you know, it really puts things into perspective where I know it's a weird way, but it really helps you find courage and self-esteem when you see other people can do that too. And, you know, their scenarios are way worse or so different. And it's really inspiring.
Nice. Have you ever had to deal with a heckler or someone who was, trying to make you feel bad for your sense of expression?
If they don't get their way, I find that guys, you know, if they don't get their way, because a lot of them want my attention and there's not a give and take. They just want to take. So when they don't get the response out of me that they want, it can go that way. But I think for the most part, I've really been able to avoid that. I do get unsolicited videos and pictures. I will absolutely look at them. You can't look at the videos anymore. Instagram has changed that because I've seen some stuff. But again, if I'm inspiring you just to want to look better, touch yourself, you know, go help somebody else, whatever it is, as long as it's a good feeling, that's I've achieved my goal there, you know. So for the most part, I'd say I can keep them at bay because I have it on my page. You know, if you want to continue to enjoy the view, you need to behave yourself and just be respectful.
Okay. So when you go out and do things, it's not necessary for you to have, I guess, a bouncer or someone there to kind of be your muscle.
Actually, I do when I go to something, I absolutely have to have somebody there with me that I know I'm protected because it's not just, I mean, I also love my weaponry, so I will also have something on me, but it's more of you never know what you're getting into, you know, you're vulnerable in scenarios like that. I've definitely done private house parties as Ivana, and I'm going and I'm beating them. And it also, so that a huge difference between dominatrix here and overseas and like, let's say Europe, they actually like full on finish the job. Here, I'm going to tease you and send you home to whoever you go home to. And that can get misconstrued. So I will say a lot of people misread my openness as I am just fluid and open and will have sex with anything and just a free for all. So I do try my best to, you know, keep them at bay without hurting feelings because that's not what I'm here for. But a lot of them can misread just me being open with my body too, like, oh, it's just up for grabs for anybody, and you know, it's not. And I
Gotcha. Okay. Okay. So tell me about the dungeon.
So my own personal one is definitely, that's not really more for too much punishing. That's more of personal play. But the ones that you actually can go to out at, say, Fetish Con, they actually have the furniture there for you to play, for you to learn. The rules there are no nips, no gents, no penetration. So those are the three rules that you have to abide by. and you just go and you have fun. So I don't really have the furniture in my room. I have more restraints, cuffs. I definitely have a bunch of different devices. Each inflict a different level of pain. I enjoy it. It's a sadistic side of mine, and you have to earn a beating out of me for sure. But there's a lot of power in that, and it's still playful, because I know everybody's heard of a safe word, but they're very important because I do also like to switch roles, but it's not necessarily, not everybody can dominate me. So I also, because I like to play with that, I like to inflict pain. I also like it inflicted onto me. So you are opening yourself up to somebody needs to know body language and just know your points and what's pushing it too far. So it's a fun. I love it. Fun doesn't eat that's sugar. That's not even covering it. But the trust and like the communication, and it's definitely not for everybody because I'll have a lot of guys be like, haha, I want to play. And when they see me whip something out, they're like, I think I changed my mind. Curious. And I have a TENS unit, so like I like to incorporate electricity. I'll strap you up to that. And then, different devices just to stimulate, because I'm all about five senses, hitting the cells, the taste, the touch, and it just, not really your sight, because if you take that away, the blindfold, you tune into those before. And that's part of what I enjoy in my sexuality is tantalizing all of those. It makes you feel liberated as a woman, empowered. And one of my other favorite things to do is anything with erotic arts on there, but male reviews. I don't know if you have them in Memphis. Actually, they do come up. So that I have been doing that since I was 18 years old. That is, I refer to as church because it typically ends on a Sunday morning, and I start my days that way. That is my all-time favorite thing to do. And again, what I like to get into, it's not easy to find partners in crime because not everybody's comfortable with putting themselves out there like that. And me, I'm like, there's no problem. It's great, and you'll feel fantastic. Just push through that uncomfortableness.
Wow. Okay, so I do know that there are quite a few people who even get shame of the fact of enjoying the pain. And it's wonderful to hear that we're like-minded and wanting, people to go toward the light, their pleasure and their truth. How and what would you say to someone who feels like they would be interested in this lifestyle, but afraid?
You have to, it's trial and error. You have to find what's right for you. Exposure therapy, whether it's watching videos online and seeing what resonates with you, what doesn't. I mean, I've even come across things where I'm like, man, that's extreme. And it's all about perspective, right? Because somebody would be like, well, how freaky are you? And I'm like, that's based on your definition of what freak is. So that probably is where I started, because just by really the outfits, because I love dressing up. And my first dominatrix, it was latex. You put it on and you have a different demeanor that comes out. Put a crop in here, your haircut, your boots. There's just something about it. And then mix that in with my already dark side of like to get a response to beat people already. That combination. It came naturally for me. But there's nothing to be ashamed of. I think it's more of just we're uncomfortable pushing ourselves out of our normal. And I think it's really good for us to get comfortable in pushing ourselves out of that, because you learn so much more, and life becomes so open and but so devices, if you wanted to get spanked a little bit, obviously hands, but when you go to the store, we have great adult toy stores down here in Florida too. I said that community is awesome here. You have your lightweight tools. I have like a rubber flogger. I can crack you really hard with it, and the sound's going to be there, but you're not really going to feel that. You might get a little pink, but it's not something that's really going to hurt. Meanwhile, I have something else that I crack you one time, you're going to be crying because it's something, oh, it's intense. I freaking love that thing, but it's not for everybody. But and that is the one when somebody wants to play with me and be like, yeah, I want that, you know, because I'll have random people sit next to me at the bar and they just are drawn. I refer to it as you're that light, right? So you're going to attract everything. And then when I start talking to them and they really, you know, it turns them on a little bit. And I'm just like, even my male clients, they toy with it and I'll take the cape and I'll just choke them a little bit more. I'm like, yeah, you like that? Like, yeah, actually I do. I'm like, cool, your wife can take care of it when we're done. You know, so I really enjoy being a tease, but when they enjoy you, it makes it a lot easier.
Wow.
I just encourage people to really go to adult toy stores to start, because in my clientele, I'm surprised by how many people have not gone. And then ours are cool because even say you want to buy a vibrator, they give you free batteries, but they also let you turn it on before you buy it to make sure you like the feel of it, the strength of it. And it's kind of like what the private toy parties would do, but now this is, you know, open all the time and you can just walk in there. I love that place. I can't say enough good things about it, but I'm also a toy collector and I have a lot, but I have my favorites, and they're probably my newer ones because toys have really evolved. I really enjoy glass and metal.
I was about to ask.
You know, you can warm them up, you can cool them down. I enjoy that. And just, you know, just stimulating, getting chills going. So again, I know people are uncomfortable with doing that, but going with a friend really helps. And I love this store because as a female, I have no problem going in there by myself. I literally was looking at flavored lubes one time, and this guy came up trying to hit on me like, hey, what's up? Because you know what we're here for, obviously, if I'm looking at flavored lubes. And the store actually watches that. They came over and they're like, can we help you with something over there? They just redirected the whole
nice.
Because they want their female shoppers to feel comfortable. And I was so impressed with that because the flavored lubes, you actually can taste them before you buy them there. Yes. So they are doing what the private toy parties and that you would have in your home or you'd be invited to, they're doing that at their store, and it's a game changer. So anytime where I'm telling somebody or giving them advice on where to start their journey of that discovery, is also really, you want to have a partner that you can trust, because toys you can really hurt somebody with.
Yes.
The material that some of those are made with, I don't know why they think that, and skin mix, because I like to keep my skin. But I just tell them to go, especially to either a toy party where it allows you to be hands-on and, you know, experience some of the creams. And my mom used to sell adult toys, so like, she had a blow-up penis. It was like 5 feet tall. My kid, and she let him blow it up. It was one of the little punching ones, you know, like we grew up with. Not the penis one. They were clowns. But she's letting him jump around the living room with it. And my child is jumping around on a giant penis. And she put the camera out. And I was like, Mom, no. Like, we're going to enjoy this moment, but I'm not going to have my child never live this down riding a giant penis. Like, to figure out his own sexuality and not have us mess it up for him. So, of course, he actually, now that he's 19, he thinks that would have been a great picture because his humor, he's my child and I'm very open with him, and he's dark and he is sadistic as I am too, and I love it.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
It's getting dark.
So,
there we go.
talk to me about like your aftercare. So you've gone out, you've done your spanking, you've entertained. What does your aftercare look like?
So, aftercare is actually really intense. So when you're getting into, when I took a class on it, that was probably one of the most eye-opening classes I ever took. And you do need to learn from others who are experienced with this. And the aftercare, you actually have to really replenish your sugars. Believe it or not, you know, you're volunteering and for this meeting, you enjoy it. When you stand up, I really don't know what it is, but you go ghost, and you just need to go like cuddle with your blanket, have some fruit, have a piece of candy. Like, it is an out of body experience when it's done right. And for me, I think it's addicting. You know, once you have a taste of it done properly, um, you crave more. And it's hard to find people to play with like that. So, like, I don't know. I finally am lucky enough to have somebody that knows what the heck they're doing. But prior to that, my experiences were just at Fetish Con with pros that were there, because, you know, you bend over in front of them, they're willing to crack you. And that's pretty much how you're learning.
Wow. So this person that you found, did you find them at a Fetish Con or?
Actually, no. They were somebody that I've met. I've known them for a very long time, but I met them at a lifestyle event at one of the reviews, and it's beautiful. You know, I can't say enough good things about that.
Oh
But
no.
it's a precious gem that I hold, because, you know, in my mind, I've been thinking about it for years. Now, he does not like the reverse role. He's not somebody who's going to submit to me, but he completely supports me doing that to other people. And to have that type of support is so beautiful, because, you know, typically guys, they want to date me. They're like, yeah, she's a babe. And then when we get together, they want to change me. They want to take away the things that I enjoy. And then all of a sudden they're insecure, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because they now see that attention. I'm used to it. It's happened my entire life. You can't always ignore it. It's rude. Sometimes you have to entertain people, and, you know, guys really have a tough time with that. So to finally be able to experience the opposite, it's so beautiful and so foreign to me, where I'm like, all right, I just want to put it up here on the pedestal and don't touch
Yeah.
it. You know, like, and I've really worked hard to get to that point. So there are websites for that. There is, I believe it's FetLife, FETLIF.
I've heard of it. Yes, I've heard of it.
And I've definitely gone on there. I was not ever successful, but I don't really think I gave it a try, because I'm more of meeting people one-on-one. I'm old school. But that is definitely, it's like a dating site, or if you're looking for a particular fetish that you're into, you're going to be able to narrow that down and find somebody who's going to be willing to explore it with you, to date, to play, you know. And it is a platform where they're very open. So, and that's the thing, is you have to be open. And even if you're just trying, that's okay. Say that, because we've all started at some point, and then it just kind of snowballs. Because like I said, my favorite event to go to is Fetish Con, because you have outfits, you have things and resources there that you wouldn't necessarily be able to get that same experience online. You wouldn't be able to try this outfit on. And then you have so much to look at there that I completely missed. Some of the girls, what was I looking at? This guy had a dog hanging from his hips, and he was in a puppy outfit. He was a sub. And then my ex at the time, or my ex, we were together. The girls, their outfits, they were walking around with the butt plug tails, and I didn't even know, because first off, if you get naked in front of me, I'm probably not even going to bat an eye. Like, I'm used to the body, but I did not realize, like, the tail wasn't part of the costume, and they had to point it out to me, and I'm like, how did I even miss that? But, you know, obviously what catches my attention is the 2-liter dong, so it just was, you know, you just don't know where to look. And the shows that are there, it's just, you look forward to it. You're going to look for more outfits, because that feeling that it brings out of you, it's liberating. And, you know, it's life for me. So this year, Fetish Con looks like it's always in August. I recommend you guys coming. It's worth it. And then they do it at the Hilton in St. Pete, which you get a room there. So, you know, you cannot, no nips, no penetration, and no gents, right? And that's guys too. Guys have to wear pasties, but then you can retreat to your room afterwards, because you're going to be so turned up from that experience and just alive. You're definitely, and then you're in Florida too, right? And we're having the most beautiful weather lately. I don't know how we're so lucky. And then with everything opening back up right now, you can go right down to the beach. So I recommend that excursion. It's so worth it. And then they look like they're going to be making up for last year. It actually is like a week-long experience, and it took me a few times of going to learn how to do it, because you want to get your money's worth out of that. And when I say there's classes, and that's another place, is starting just with classes. You can find them online. There's a few girls that I follow, Jet Setting Jasmine. She's a dominatrix that does classes online. And then her guys also in the lifestyle. But like, you start following one person, you know, it opens up. And I mean, if you follow me, I'd love to see your feed. It definitely, again, Instagram's been tuning it down, but like, I'm gonna have to start sending you stuff and know what's getting you going. That's exactly what I go for, to get my blood pumping. We're gonna start that right, that positive energy.
Yes. So tell me, what is, in your opinion, the wildest thing you've done?
What I've done? Oh, let me think about that. I feel like we might need to narrow that down a little bit. Are we going to talk about in the kink world here? Keep it in there, because I've definitely done some wild and crazy things. I've been part of male review shows. Those can get a little crazy because you're ended up being tossed around in the air. You become an acrobat and you didn't know you could even move like that. Definitely public sex. You know, that's something that has been around for me for a long time. And then it seems down here, it kind of just is in the air, so you can do that. Definitely PDA. But I'd say the craziest stuff probably happens behind closed doors. You know, my personal preferences and the things that I'm into. I like to push limits and I like to push boundaries. So that definitely takes place behind a closed door. And yeah, I mean, it can get pretty graphic. So I don't know what I'm supposed to say or how.
No. You said. So my last question to you is, again, and I know that I've said it, but where I am, we're still a Bible Belt, and you know, people are very squeamish about any type of open sexuality. In a short sentence, what would you say?
So what comes to my mind is it's not them actually squeamish. They're curious. They're squeamish of what people are going to think of them.
Exactly.
The moment that you can let that go, because those who are judging are only doing so because they were taught that, and they're so concerned with what somebody else is going to think, not even understanding that that person too has that curiosity, and you know, they too. And that's why I really try and just, you know, walk in my truth and try and inspire others to do the same thing, because then you can grace another. And you know, the more open minds we have, I do think that it would create a better place for this planet, right? We're more accepting of others, we love ourselves, right, and that way we can love other people a lot easier. Yeah,
I love that. Well, let me say, Ivana, you are totally refreshing. The thing about it is, people are so close-minded. I think that people who do the abnormal, who practice kink, who are interested in things that are outside of missionary, that you can't be a beautiful person, you can't be a cat mom, you can't have parents. I mean, it just gets so ridiculous. So this conversation was absolutely amazing.
Well, thank you for having me. I very much enjoyed this. I'd love to come back, especially if we're going to talk even nastier stuff, because that is definitely my forte.
Yes. So if you would share your Instagram tag, you know, people, I'm sure at this point, they really want to follow and stick to your side.
Sure. It is Ivana Spanks a lot. It's going to be, I don't know if you can see my name. It's IVANA_SPANXALAT. And then if you go to Unapologetically Angela, if you go into She's Following Me, I'm Following Her, you can find me that way too if you just type in Ivana. I'll pop up, and then my other pages, you can find them off of that one. Just be careful, because the deeper
Yes.
you go, the crazier it gets.
Yes. Please follow her, especially if you need a morning pick me up. This lady is sexually hilarious. And I mean, but it is absolutely refreshing. So I appreciate you and I applaud you for just representing us as women in our sexual freedom so well. Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you. And you have a great night.
Looks like we might be having a road trip down to Florida. I'll be in touch.
Yes, I'll send you that link.
Okay, please do. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Man, listen. June is going to be so exciting. Thank you so much for joining me. Those of you that know me, one of my passions is people to have their freedom, to be able to, like she said, live your truth, be and discuss and embrace what pleases you. What you do behind closed doors, honestly, what you do out in public is solely up to you. And she gave prize words. Let it go. Don't concern yourself about what other people are going to say. Seek pleasure for pleasure's sake. And I guarantee it, if you do it wholeheartedly, if the intent is out of love, it won't matter to you what anybody says. You will be living your truth. So I hope listening to that amazing conversation, this lady has children, she has a 9-to-5 job, things of that nature. What you do in your sexual life is your business, and it does not drive you. It should motivate you. It should inspire you to continue to be yourself. Don't go through life not enjoying yourself, not experiencing pleasure. That's the same thing with your dreams. Take a leap. You'll never know. I love her advice about, exploring. You learn a lot of things by accident. You getting it and you hit your head on the bed rail and you realize, oh my God, I like that. So I'm just saying, especially if you're in a relationship with someone that has a true understanding of what it is that you want to explore and want to push those limits. Don't be afraid to be open, as long as you're in a trusting situation where you can totally express yourself. Guys, I thank you so much for just allowing me to be open on this platform. It's good to see you on this amazing Tuesday. Peace, love, and playtime, Nicole. Playtime indeed. Do something this week. Push yourself just a little bit further, just to see what your limit truly is. I guarantee you, you won't go back. Bye.